relief a little bit if you're no Tide, being like, oh god, we don't have to play against Na'Vi.
Yeah.
Because they are so unpredictable. They will pick pretty much anything and run it.
Yeah, you just have that mental kind of victory. It's like, we can play our style of game, we can play our kind of rhythm, where it is Empire and Na'Vi who, they like to dictate their own rhythm. And I love Goblak's first ban. Now, I was wondering if we're going to see this, because it does open up a hell of a lot more, especially when Goblak got the first pick. You ban out a hero like Lone Druid, we know it's one of AdmiralBulldog's best. It is his best hero. But by Goblak removing it out, now we're looking at Batrider, now we're looking at TA. The Darkseer will still come through the ban pool, but what is Goblak going to do? He's only got one pick from the get-go. Who's he really looking for?
Goblak is a captain who's known for just taking away your comfort zone. Like you were saying, he knows that Bulldog plays that hero and he plays him amazingly well. They just want to make sure that you aren't going to get the heroes that you're good with. Empire is a team who isn't really scared of any individual hero. They're not afraid against playing against Darkseers. They're not afraid of playing against anything, really. So it's just a matter of, what do they think are they going to be able to ban out that's going to make no Tidehunter get off of their best heroes? And I mean, Lone Druid is very hard to lane against, and they're going to go ahead and ban out a Lifestealer as well. So there's going to be a lot of high-value heroes in the pool here for the first and second picks.
And yeah, this is straight as well with what No Tidehunter have been running. We know what they've been doing with the Nakes. Then Batrider, straight up pick. We've got easy disable, and this is mainly, I think, he's almost trying to bait out the Sven pick. I think he's hoping that EternalLenvy is still going to go with the Sven. We saw what happened to, in fact, our special guest who's going to be joining us on the panel at the end of this game, Black, what they did to a hero like the Batrider. What if we have a Void? What if we have that coming up? Or we can just go with the other hero who's been causing a lot of issues, and that's Mag. I think he's lost one game in this entire tournament, and that was the Mouse Sports game.
Yeah, it was the Mouse Sports game, unfortunately. And to be totally honest, that game should have went the way of Mouse, in my opinion.
Should have, yeah, agreed. Agreed. There was no reason why I can't. Mag is just this amazing, no matter what you want. He's a laner, he's an initiator, he's a great repositioner, and they take the Bounty Hunter on top of the Mag. It's a lot of melee stack, and I'm wondering if Empire are like, well, do we still go for the Clinks? Because track, obviously, keep tabs on where that Clinks is moving around all the time, and Bounty Hunter just as problematic as the Clinks.
And Bounty Hunter's amazing in the offlane as well, even against range heroes. We saw yesterday, Funnick against Way2's Windrunner, he actually first blooded him under his tower.
Yeah.
And people are going to say to yourself, okay, well, how does a melee hero first blood a ranged hero, especially somebody like Windrunner who has a great animation, has great base damage? It's just because of the fact that Bounty Hunter's base armor is so high, oftentimes teams are going to pull your regen, so you can start with Poor Man's Shield, you Shadow Walk in, you get free auto attacks off, the damage is already done. Even if you Windrun, it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
So Bounty Hunter can actually lane against range safe laners and do relatively okay. I think Clinks can still bully him a bit, but the fact of the matter is Bounty isn't one who needs farm. He really just needs the levels. Once he gets his track up, he's going to start being active around the map. What I like about it is that they can actually switch lanes up if they really want to, because Magnus can go mid or off lane. Bounty Hunter can go to a safe lane. It's been known to happen before. It just depends on what Empire is going to pick here and what they think the lane's going to be.
Yeah, well, it's basically an assumption too that Goblak's going to be picking up the Jakiro. No matter what happens, be it Mag or Bounty Hunter, you want to be using that Ice Path, try and lock them into their position, and there's a Jakiro pick up from Goblak, and they're actually going to be the ones to pick up the Sven. So they're going to be happy to grab up the Sven, go with the Batrider. Well, I thought it was going to be a bait out for EternalLenvy to pick it up, but he doesn't take it. And it would have been a great bait too, because you would have at least got Mag, or you would have got Bounty Hunter. You would have got one of those heroes if he had to pick up Sven in the first two picks.
I think this is more of a precautionary measure. When you give away Sven and Magnus, you give the potential for one team fight where you're going to lose all your heroes before you even have a chance to react. We've seen the amount of damage as Sven can do, even when he gets disabled for, say, like 7 or 8 seconds in a row, 1 or 2 swings. That's all it takes, especially if you get a decent amount of farm. And since most people are always going to be tri-laning this Sven nowadays, he's going to get that farm. So taking it away from no Tidehunter is definitely good. I feel like Batrider is still great against Sven regardless. I think Empire is just kind of covering their bases right now.
Yeah, definitely. So last pick up from Envy. How do we want to go with this one? We're already looking at basically 2 of our core heroes. We need 1 more core hero and a couple of supports. So more than likely we look towards the jungle of no Tidehunter now. And do we try and go for the big combo? Mag pulls them all in, and then we go for maybe just a Venomancer instead. So it's all about lane control to start with, as well as having that ultimate for the big team fights. But I kind of thought he would have gone a little bit down a different path, like maybe grab up that jungle and look for the Enigma, maybe start looking for Broodmother ban out.
Yeah, Broodmother Band. See, this is the thing right now, is that Venomancer, in a low-level tri-lane, like a level 1, Venomancer has an advantage over pretty much any tri-lane support because just how good Gale can actually be. Jakiro needs levels to really be able to apply pressure. We've talked about this again in the tournament. It's just the hero himself, he has a good disable. He's got really healthy stat gain, but he doesn't do a lot of damage on his own. He needs follow-up. So now, because we're going into the second ban phase, you could see just partner heroes being banned out for heroes like Sven, like Lina, like Leshrac. Any good damage follow-up is probably going to be taken out at this point just to ensure that their tri-lane is going to win. That tells me that I think No Tide wants to tri-lane against Empire.
If they do, it will be a very, very entertaining situation. It's tri-lane against Jakiro and Sven. Like what you're saying, you do need power for Jakiro later on, like when he gets the levels. You've still got that ice path at level 1. And when that's there, your tri-lane, your gank, it just doesn't work if you get caught by that ice path. It makes a full impenetrable wall. You can't get over it unless you have a wonderful leap ability. But Darkseer being banned out. Now we're going to remove out the Luna as well, just in case Tidehunter are looking for that little bit of extra damage. The Empire, they got Sven, they got Jakiro, they got Batrider. We're already looking at possible jungle, we're possibly looking at solo mid, possible off lanes. Klinx is now being banned out by EternalLenvy, and Goblak knew this was going to happen by picking up the Sven. He was never going to get that hero through. But Empire still capable of running their aggressive tri-lane if they want to do that as well. They got a strong lane through Sven Jakiro combo. Rubik is still available in the pool as well, and that's normally the combination that Empire love to play around with. And Rubik, in my mind, for Goblak, you've got Mag, you've got Bounty Hunter, you want to steal anything those guys have.
And Rubik would definitely be a solid choice, but again, that makes their tri-lane very defensive in nature, so if no Tidehunter, you consider they have one of their 3 tri-lane heroes right now. Because if you want to assume the Magnus is going to be going middle lane, the Bounty is probably going to be going into the safe lane or the off lane, depending on where no Tidehunter wants to put their tri-lane, then you're looking at 2 more possible heroes coming out. They've already taken out the Klinx, which says that, of course, they're going to be tri-laning. Otherwise, there's no reason to ban the Klinx, because the hero needs either a safe lane or a lane that at least he can very win to be successful. So with that being said, they're just taking away a little bit of Funnick's comfort zone, and it looks like Empire is imagining they're going to be picking up a Chen here, so I'm not sure if they're assuming that no Tidehunter is going to dodge or not, but I don't really see much of a reason to pick a Venomancer if you're not going to try to go head-to-head against Empire's tri-lane.
Well, that's all it's meant for, is that off-laner, but we don't even know who the off-laner is for Empire just yet, and Windrun is still available in the pool, which might even be just be that 4th pickup. Windrun with Venomancer's Gale, it slows you down, but it's not going to be the edge of the world. It's not as bad as when you get locked by a fissure or an ice path or something along these lines. You still get away. You have the evasion, you tick it down a little bit, but you're okay. And Windrunner will be more than comfortable on that off lane. If it is 1v1 Windrunner versus Bounty Hunter, we say comfortable, but then it's not supposed to happen. And TA, we kind of even forgot about the Templar Assassin, Scandal's big hero. Completely left out until this point, even banning out the Tide to forget about the Templar Assassin.
Well, forgetting about the Templar Assassin, they already have a Venomancer, they already have Track, so it's not going to be that bad. Here we go, they're picking up the Lina again. This is all about aggression, taking away the follow-up damage that you're going to have, and that's one of the highest burst damage heroes in the business, especially in a tri-lane. You get the double nuke coming out. Once you get to level 6, they've made Laguna Blaine a significantly shorter cooldown, so you can just do continuous aggression, try to pick off kills where you can, and because of the fact that they banned out the Darkseer early on, Team Empire thinks that, well, we can just go ahead and pick the Templar Assassin because, well, that's one of the counters of the hero and it's not in the pool, but they still have 2 out of no Tidehunter right now, so I'm still feeling pretty confident that no Tidehunter's draft isn't really losing out to Empires at the moment, especially considering they still don't have their carry, well as Empire does. So say no Tidehunter wants to go for something like the Void, they have 2 amazing range supports who do high damage. You're not going to be able to go on the Void in that tri-lane. He'll always be able to defensively leap out. You're going to overcommit and end up losing heroes for it, so I really want to know what kind of carry they're going to go. I have a feeling it might be a Void, but looks like Bane for Empire, so pretty much standard for them.
Yeah, everything is pretty good for Empire. As far as this goes now, Jakiro, Bane, Sven, we know these 3 are going to stick together, Batrider, Templar Assassin to be 2 solos. The one thing I'm looking at no Tidehunter, and I think as far as, like, they're not losing out anything when you look towards their team fight. Mag pull in, you got Venomancer Gala straight over the top, everyone's going to try to get in there nice and fast, but it's Lina, who's just got that very quick nuke, good AoE nuke too, so when everyone's pulled in, everyone's going to remain stunned there. Then the nuke damage with the flame over the top, the Dragon Slave, and then if you want to target down one person, you can do so as well. But in this entire time, if there was any chance of a refraction, it won't be there anymore, and they will be able to just get these easy pick-offs, and not only just pick-offs, but wiping out 2 or 3 heroes, large portion of their life points at just one time.
That's going to be interesting to watch this, because now with the Bane pickup, you kind of have to be a bit hesitant about if you want to go for a Void or not, because Bane is amazing against Void. You can stand outside its range, just be as far back as you basically can, much similar to a Rubik, how he would be playing team fights. And the fact of the matter is, you have to lock down the Sven. You want to try to lock down the Batrider to prevent your carry from getting locked down, and you have to worry about the Bane, and they're going to take the Void anyway. So, I mean, it was a pretty obvious choice for them. It's obviously been known to be good against Sven in this tournament, but there are ways that Empire can stop him from doing his damage once he gets into his sphere. If he's not really good about his positioning, if he doesn't get the proper jump, he can pay for it badly. Yeah.
Catching out that Bane is going to be absolutely critical, because if they don't, well, we've got Nightmare, we've got Enfeeble, like remove off all this damage. Don't need to care about it. Zen won't go down. You need to kill him as fast as you possibly can. And there's the downside about Faceless Void. You're going with the Void Chrono when you're running your other two damage dealers who are 2 melees. So during the Chrono is only Void really doing the damage, as well as Lina's nukes. That's the only thing you're going to be able to catch up. Bounty Hunter might be able to throw a Shuri Toss in there, but that's the only other thing you've really got as far as that damage goes. So making the most out of this Chrono, not going to be as big. And you want to catch out Batrider, Sven, as well as Templar Assassin. So unless Void gets a large chunk of farm, does a large amount of damage very quickly, it's not going to be as powerful. But we get ourselves into the game, so no Tidehunter. They're going to be over on the Dire side, Empire on the Radiant side. Running through very quickly, Loda. Of course, everyone knows him. He's one of the Swedish legends. He'll be taking the role as Faceless Void, already heading up towards that top lane. S4 is going to run the Mag in the middle solo, already building up for Bottle. EternalLenvy, the Venomancer support, heading down south with a Quelling Blade as well as a couple of Sentry Wars to start off with. And Akke, nothing but consumables as well. A couple of Observer Wars for him. And that leaves our last but not least, AdmiralBulldog, the Bounty Hunter, who has been pulled a lot of consumables, as well as walking down there with the Stout Shield.
I think we're kind of forgetting one thing about no Tidehunter's lineup is that if you think about it this way, if the Magnus gets a relatively fast blink, which I'm sure that S4 will be getting, even a TA can't really stop him from farming, because just the method that he uses is going to be bottle crowing with Shockwave, so you figure quick arcanes blink pretty standard. If the Void gets even a decent Chronosphere, you can just blink into it, immediately reverse polarity. The animation itself is so fast that there's probably not going to be much of a reaction. Even if you BKB, it's not going to matter because you're going to get stunned anyway. So it's going to be down to their team fight a lot. But this tri-lane that they're running, or at the moment, it doesn't even look like it's going to be a tri-lane because Loda's heading his way towards top lane. They pick their lanes to be able to win them, and that's something that Empire is used to doing themselves. So we'll see what ends up happening.
Just watching through the Empire lineup right now, so let's just run through the players. So it'll be Funnick, who looks like to be going the solo bot lane as the Batrider. So he's down here expecting Bounty Hunter, hence he's already managed to stack up a couple of consumables. Looking at the dust, he's got 2. Doesn't want to lose track of this Bounty Hunter, so if there's a chance to kill him, he wants to make the most of it. In towards our middle lane, we've already got Goblak chilling as the Jakiro on the wrong side of the river. And he is here with Scandal, so maybe looking to give that early advantage and probably that mid pull if possible. We haven't seen the block happen, so there is no block ward for this little pull pet camp down on the middle lane, so that's a possibility for them later. The Goblak, he is going to rotate up towards the top lane, so we're going to see an aggressive tri-lane, double damage up on the Bane Elemental, and that's going up against Loda as well as Akke. Not going to be easy, especially when you got Socks already there, stuns ready in hand, looking for the first blood.
And they had to know this was coming, though. The reason why they didn't block the small camp is because they knew that Empire was going to be aggressively tri-laning. You want to try to shut down the Void at all costs. A Void late game, we've already seen it in the past. He can't out-carry his Sven. Sven is more of a semi-carry than anything else, so once you get to that later stage in the game, you're going to have a slight edge. If you're no Tidehunter, you have great ultimates to back it up, and their teamfight, in my opinion, is much better than what Empire's is going to be. They're going to rely more on picking and making sure that they kind of split-push heroes like Void down rather than anything else.
And Void, interesting to see how well he's going to go on this top lane. Obviously, he's got that backtrack, and already there's the right clicks from Low to do a significant amount of damage to that Sven. He is not a happy chappy up there. But Bane going to come in from the side and just push him back off that lane. Can't let him really get farmed. Like the fact we've already seen 4 hits up for Loader up against a tri-lane when he's basically running by himself. Like Akke's looking to pull, and it's Envy who's stacking and pulling into the Ancients on the bottom lane. So we've actually got Denial on the bottom lane, giving more control for AdmiralBulldog to farm on top of his own tier 1 tower.
This hurts Funnick a lot. He's pretty much not going to get any experience, or the experience that he does get is going to be few and far between. I'm not sure if he can pull every single wave, but that is a full creep wave denial. Whenever you pull to the Ancients, there's no way it's going to live through it, and this is something that we knew that no Tidehunter had in their pocket. I mean, you ask anybody, and they were pretty much going to say the same thing, that they know how to pull the Ancients, and they're going to abuse it, especially against a hero who needs experience so badly, like this Batrider. That's going to make Empire really uneasy about the mid-game.
S4 hoping 2-minute room would spawn up top, but doesn't at the end of the day, and they're both running bottles here in the middle lane. So S4 going to go back through the middle and then just run down towards the bottom rune. But it looks like there's no real desire from Scandal. He has no real worry about picking up that rune, just running the bottle back and forth. But rune control now haste for the mag, so maybe possibility of going on Funnick on the bottom lane. He is making his movement in towards that middle lane. AdmiralBulldog, not the funnest thing in the world, with 4 napalm stacks on him. So making life a little bit more difficult for him. And Funnick, if he wants to go for this, 5 napalm stacks, if he gets that 6-1 up, AdmiralBulldog already with 5-4 to hold back at the tower. So now he missed out in his farm, and Funnick just holds off. Dust is there when he needs it, but he's waiting for AdmiralBulldog to overextend, which really AdmiralBulldog, as the experienced offlaner he is, he's not going to do that.
Funnick needs to be careful, though. He doesn't probably know that the Venom's here. This could be a huge overextension.
Yeah, the Gale's there, and Firefly into the trees. Napalm Stack not going to let Bulldog come any closer. Looks like he's going to be okay. I thought he was going to wait a lot longer until Bulldog overextended, but looks like Funnick doesn't want to force it. He actually got 5 napalm stacks on this one, and the Duster Pop. The Firefly is going to wear off in a moment, but his right-click damage, it's enough! Overextension or not, Funnick has been the talk of Empire during this competition, but wanting to be capable of doing just solo on solo. And he just did it then.
Overconfidence coming out of Bulldog right there. He definitely did not check Funnick's inventory because he actually had Dust pretty much at the very start of the game. And that's a mistake you just can't afford to make. Funnick himself is known to play an offlane bounty hunter quite well. And if you give him an opportunity to exploit your weaknesses, he knows the hero just as well as anybody who's going to be running it in the offlane. And I think that Bulldog just got a little bit caught out there. And it's unfortunate too because they're supposed to be denying him experience, and now he's level 5.
Yep. This is a horrible, horrible situation. Not only just level 5, but level 6 to come out shortly. And then AdmiralBulldog, Dust to pop, lasso, pull through the Firefly. If he goes any more than 3, maybe even 4 stacks up in napalm, he's dead. He's got to know he's dead in that bottom lane, unless... Oh no, there is no unless. And Venomancer, that is just such a harsh thing. Leaving a Venomancer warp in the bottom lane, Funnick rotated down to pick up the rune, and he just denies it. He's controlling that ward so it wouldn't attack as well, just in case he was able to get there in time. But now Funnick want to be a little bit more aggressive, just cuts through the trees. He's looking for EternalLenvy, and he's the one he can go on. Starts off with 1 napalm stack. Flame Break pushed him back into the Firefly. 2 napalm stacks now, keeps the right clicks, and Funnick support coming up from AdmiralBulldog, but already 3 hits. And Funnick, he's going to get already a 2nd kill in the bottom lane, cost him his life, and Batrider is the one to kill him.
Yeah, it's still worth it, honestly, though, because you get the solo experience from the kill. Now he's level 6. And, I mean, 1 death like that, even though we get another kill, it's not really going to hurt him in the long run. I mean, diving like that aggressively is one thing, but you're also ensuring that you're still going to continue to get your experience at death. He's not going to be bothered by it too much.
Yeah. With that level 6, we might even see him move around somewhere else. Bottom lane, nope, we're going to go straight back down there. Thought maybe move up towards that top lane, because we haven't been able to see Empire get in on Loda yet. We have seen, however, Sven completely out-level Loda. Loda sitting at 4.5, while Sven sitting at 5 levels. Loda, in fact, Templar 1 up against a 23 for 7 Sven. The farm is just not going their way. The first blood in the bottom lane, we're getting Batrider with a little bit more items up, and this Void is not getting the farm he requires to get the big damage dealing items we're talking about, where he can make the most out of his chrono when it arrives.
I think they're committing too much to having Envy pull this bottom stack. Honestly, at this point, I feel like the lane is already lost for them in the bottom lane. Funnick has already gotten too much. They were supposed to be holding him down, and they've honestly given him more than I think he would have gotten if Envy had just gone top and done the tri-lane versus tri-lane. Abuse the fact that your early game is going to be a little bit better than what Empire had, and try to get your Void some farm, because like you said, at this point, he's got 10 CS. At almost 6 minutes into the game, Loda is not farming at all, and Sven is almost free farming.
Yep. And Veno's also got pretty much nothing out of this. Like, while he might be pulling, he's looking for a couple of Ancients, but he's 4 for 0 right now, and that's not what they need. The only, well, is there a bright side in the middle lane? 21 for 2 on S4 up against Scandal, who's 28 for 18. So even then, that lane going the way of Empire, I'm hesitant to bring up this graph, but to do so does reveal the fact 2,000 gold going the way of Empire in this early part of the game, 1,000 worth of experience as well. So Empire, it's not a game-winning experience, but it's that early game small advantage, and we talked about the laning advantage. Now up on the top lane, Nightmare to start with, there's the Ice Path to follow up, then the Sven stun, TP support's going to come in, but he's already dead. AdmiralBulldog is the one to come up, and he wants a kill. Track goes on Goblak. There's the Void jumping out. Silent. Nightmare off cooldown. 2 seconds time. Goblak just sees that time. He's got Ice Path as well. Turns around. Casts out. Only managed to get a Bulldog. And he'll have to Nightmare up Loda. Jump on down as S4. Skewering himself down as well as a Shockwave. Another Track goes out into Silent straight away. But they pick up one hero, but they bring in their mid-solo and their bottom lane hero in order to get Jakiro. And that is all.
It was Jakiro, but I guess at the end of the day, it was a track kill. It was a support for a support. Wasting the 2 TPs probably just counteracted the track hold in the first place. So I would say everything considered, Empire came out a slight bit ahead right there, but this is still continuing to be a problem, as now they're committing a little bit to this mid lane. They might go on Scandal as well.
Maybe they can do it, but then again, with Mag completely out of mana, it's not really possible to go any further. And Batrider is the one on the bottom lane, now up to level 8. And EternalLenvy, who's about to pop level 4 down here just by soaking up the creep wave experience next to the tower. It's a dangerous position for him, especially with Funnick's haste rune bottled up inside him. The second he wants to dive, lasso, and just pull EternalLenvy back all the way, or maybe he's just waiting for Bulldog. He wants the big man. He wants the big fish.
If Bulldog shows himself, he might just go and dive for it because the Venomancer isn't going to be able to do anything against the haste rune anyway, whereas whereas Bulldog would be able to actually do a decent amount of damage. And yeah, he's
here we
going
go.
For it.
Haste rune. He's looking for Envy. Finds him too. Lasso will latch, and well, one napalm stack. Flame break holds him there. Avoids the Gale as well. Actually, no, he didn't. He managed to get nicked by the Gale on the way through, but he's hasted, so he doesn't really give two hoots. But easy kill. Easy kill for Empire.
And Funnick's just accomplishing way too much in this lane. This is what he always does. Even in lanes where you're like, how can he possibly do anything here? He still manages to get a little bit ahead. The polling didn't really do that much. He got some experience seeing S4 actually getting beaten down here mid.
Yeah, but pulls Scandal back in range of the tier 1 tower. Scandal not having that meld hit. With that meld hit, he would be able to bring down Mag. A nice shockwave. In fact, Scandal really low on life at 120 points. Pops off the refraction, just turns around to get rid of a little bit of the creep wave. But Phase Boots, very, very difficult to catch up to him. Even with shockwave, you're not going to get him.
Bane in the woods as well. Way up a top lane, running away from track right now. I believe that he is going to drop here.
Yeah, he should do, unless there's support like Goblak. Nice ice path, but Bulldog very, very fast on the foot with that track bonus movement speed. There is extra support here too. Sven looks for the stun, Void jumps in, and Chronos for this one. Brings down the Bane, now moves on towards the Sven, but there's really no extra damage. There's an extra track now, but that's not going to be enough, and Venomancer and Akke looks like they're playing around with Jakiro. So no Tidehunter finally getting a couple of kills going their way. Scandal was thinking about sniping off one person, but at the end of the day, not going to work. At S4, is he going to try this blind? No, he's not going to put... I thought we were going to see a mouse boss play.
And this is why I'm a little bit confused as to why no Tidehunter wasn't just running aggressive versus the tri-lane. I mean, yeah, you're going to be in your safe lane anyway, and you have a Venomancer, the best level 1 support basically in the game. You can't ask for better, especially against a tri-lane that's basically a Jakiro and a Bane. They have defensive heroes. They don't have aggressive heroes. They're just going up against there because they were assuming that no Tidehunter might be laning against Funnick, but that didn't happen. So essentially, their strategy was to try to go tri-lane versus tri-lane. They bailed on it, and it's kind of backfiring.
So now Scandal, middle lane, S4, sticky back going again. But so hard to do. He hasn't got that blink dagger up just yet. And Scandal, he's a little bit short of his, but one person notices who's basically got it now. Batrider on the bottom lane. He was pretty close before, and now he's there. So we got blink into lasso. And if anyone tries to farm that ancient stack with the ward, he's instantly going to know and will just jump on them
as well.
Oh yeah, Scandal. And he's right on behind him. He's already used up all his mana in that refraction. Can meld in a moment. S4 has got no mana for a shockwave, so right click, there goes your meld. TA trap, there's a shockwave, and they bring in the sentry ward, bringing him down. But Funnick making his move in. Flame break might be enough damage to bring down Envy when it brings him in closer for the second napalm stack. One last right click, Goblak's got it. And maybe now with the Nightmare, they're trying to chain it off so they can get themselves away. Sven's going to make his move in too. Lasso already onto the Lina, so Lina now being sniped off. Funnick going to catch up to AdmiralBulldog. He's too fast and away. So TA for the Lina and Venomancer. Not the most amazing trade, especially with the track.
Definitely not a good trade. But at this point in the game, Empire on Funnick, I just don't understand. He has 57 CS at 10 minutes and 45 seconds into the game. There's really nothing that you can do when you're getting Ancient pulled against, but it seems like Funnick, and regardless of the odds that he is stacked against, he manages to do this, and that's why I always consider him a very, very high tier player. But top lane looks like no Tidehunter might be trying to kill this Sven here.
Yep. Sorry, looking back up there towards the top lane. There's the Chrono going to pop off. Goblak, he walked into it. He could have left that ice path and maybe helped out the Sven. The Lina stun's going to be there. And there's your ice path. Sven with a war cry, trying to run away on 40 HP. He's got to use a one charge. It's not enough. He's almost there. Bulldog gets the last right click in, but in comes Silent. Brain Sap. Can't see AdmiralBulldog. He's able to run away. And wonderful light strike array, holding Goblak and Silent out of the play. So they get the pick off and they're running away as fast as they can. It looks like Silent, he's wanting to dive this one a little bit further. He's out of mana. He's not 100% sure if he can find anyone. Nope, no Thunder all the way, running all the way back to base. Now towards the middle lane. S4 is going to be initiated on TA Trap. Scandal right behind him, but TP support's coming in from the Venomancer, then cancelled off just as fast. Envy not wanting to leave that bottom lane, but just wanting to give a little bit of pressure towards it, saying, don't TP on my guy.
I believe that Bounty Hunter is going to end up being the salvation right here for no Tidehunter, because even if they go even in kills, ultimately that makes it slightly ahead. S4
locks him, nails him, and that's going to be possibly not the easiest kill of his life. But with the skewer, he went straight through the Firefly. Firefly sticking with him. He just basically skewered straight through it. And now they even find one of the stacks. We had Silent come up here and scout this one out, so now Funnick, with most of the Firefly and with a Flame Break too, should be able to steal most of this stack. Dual Breath from Goblak, and 3 heroes just getting rid of what Tidehunter is putting up in the bank accounts.
Stacking your jungle like this when you know that Empire is aggressively trailing is a risk anyway, because if you lose a tri lane, it's big trouble.
Scandal's going to be in trouble if Bulldog's going to initiate, but then again, there's a lot of support coming in. Envy, Fiend scripted up, they want to kill him off straight away. Funnick, he's holding on, there's the blast coming out from the Flame Break. They do bring down the Venomancer. There's now your reverse polarity. Nice shockwave. Double kill for S4. Not going the way Empire wants this to happen. Funnick, still that Firefly burning through, and Akke, he's burning just to throw out this one last swipe. Then there's going to be that Shuri toss flying out from Bounty Hunter, finally bringing down that Batrider, and Bulldog moving around, jumping in Viz, trying to avoid hits, avoid melts. Now Loda going to join the fight. Chrono is up, jumps over the top. Shouldn't need the Chrono for this one. Scandal tries to go in Viz, not going to work when you tracked up, and he will be brought down. Faceless Void getting the kill. 9-10 now, and that is that 10 minutes worth of decent silence, and then everyone says, okay, now it's go time.
It's still been 19 kills in a 13-minute game, so action-wise, it's not too bad. And that was a really, really nice exchange coming out of Tidehunter. They capitalized on Empire's over-aggression, and they even had Void there at the last second, just with the sphere if he needed. It was off cooldown, I believe, right as Scandal ended up dying. And this is something you got to be really wary of if you're Empire. If you don't know you can take the team fight for sure, you're giving away track kills, so that can keep a team in the game, even if they've already lost the laning phase. AdmiralBulldog is actually level 10 now, so he's going to be level 11 probably within the next few minutes. That means team fights are going to be going even further south if Empire goes anything less than getting a hero or 2 more than Tidehunter does.
Watching this top lane trying to be set up by Empire. Funnick's up here inside of his smoke and looking at Loda, and that's going to be the one to go. Already now with a lasso, hold in position, Warcry, whatever damage they can do. They want to bring down Faceless Void, and he can't do it just yet. Leaving himself away, 2 napalm stacks, 1 more right click. They need it on Loda. There it comes out. In fact, it's going to be Sven bringing down the Faceless Void. Silent, who does he want to go on to? He's completely out of mana, but with 10-1 charges up his sleeve, he'll have it back in a moment. But decides not to do it. He had a possible Fiend script opportunity there, but didn't want to go for it. Not right next to the tier 2 tower, and not when so many abilities were already popped off by Empire.
I'm a little bit surprised. Loda, he kind of ran back into vision. I know Firefly gives you that extra vision, but the fact of the matter is you can't really turn around when you're sticking napalm in the first place, and he had his sphere off cooldown, and he definitely had mana for it.
Trouble on the bottom lane. Look for that skewer. He's got to get out of range of that sentry, but juking around the trees, galed up, and now tracked up, and he is so dead. Thought he could juke it perfectly, but the TP came in from S4, but still the tower being brought down by the Templar Assassin before dying. And now straight towards the middle lane. Empire removing all the outer tier 1 towers without losing a single one themselves. Cost them a little bit, and might even cost them more. Loda jumps in with the Chrono, holding Funnick there. Silent Nightmares up the Lina, so there's no follow-up stun. Then the Flame Break pushing him back. AdmiralBulldog chained up, so that stun can fly out. And Silent a little bit further down, while Envy, Akke, and as well as Bulldog focusing on him. But Silent with the Brain Tap, not enough damage. There's finally the Light Strike array. Back in towards the middle lane. S4 on low life. Funnick, he's just got that Firefly still going. Shuri toss, Lina, Laguna Blade, not enough to kill off the Sven. Couldn't get close enough as well with the Dragon Slaves. Silent's come back in towards the fight. Now looking even further. Goblak being stunned up. Envy's on the run. Goblak, dual breath should do the job. He's not close enough. Envy running up towards the high ground. The creepwave's following him. He's trying to fight from that high ground. Goblak not missing on the kills. Avoids the gale as well. And Envy is still on that run. Come on, Goblak. He's got to move faster. But maybe not possible. Envy even mocking him on the retreat. He can't catch him. Maybe he can. Ice Path. Ice Path is the only thing. TA Trap, better thing. Now Ice Path, 100% guaranteed. And Goblak, he's not even going to use it. It's just right click. Oh, he does. Not guaranteed. The Venomancer was blocking him out. He's eating his way through the trees with the Quelling Blade. And Scandal says, I don't think so. Phase boot straight through it and gets the kill.
That was a really nice dodge there from Goblak. If the Gale had hit, there's a good chance that he would have died himself rather than Envy having to run all the way across the map, and unfortunate that he ran into a psionic trap. But ultimately, that team fight still went pretty good for Tidehunter. I mean, they were getting track kills. They managed to pick out the Sven. They forced the Bane to buy back, which is a support you really don't want to do, especially at this point in the game. But, I mean, everything is still working okay for Tidehunter. They're not really losing too much out other than map control. I mean, they lost their tier 1s, like you had said. No tier 1s down for Empire at this point, and they want to be really careful of that because it does open up the possibility that Empire can do Roshan. They have been known to do medallions really fast in their Templar Assassins. Just to get into the pit, you have max level of meld, you have medallion, you kill it so quick. And again, with just decent aggressive wards and one teamfight win, Empire can definitely do it.
Yeah, they definitely can, man. One thing I'm worried about is the timing coming up from Tidehunter. Just looking at the mag, he hasn't got that Blink Dagger yet. We know what happens when the Blink Dagger appears on S4. It's kind of like when you first see the Orchid appear up on Clinks. It's just like this is like horrible time. You don't want to be going up anywhere on the map without protection. But he hasn't got there yet. And at the same time, we're getting the key items like the Blink Dagger up, now both on Batrider as well as over on Scandal. The Mask of Magnus is starting to prep in towards the BKB for Sven. All these items are appearing. Silent, he's probably knowing he's tracked up right now if he's checking his own little slots. Yeah, he is. And S4 wants to go in there, and maybe at that point, blink into a skewer. Could have found a huge opening, and now maybe they might even find themselves trapped out. Nightmare on AdmiralBulldog. Silent, is he going to go into Fiend's Grip as well? There's a Chronosphere a little bit further down, trying to catch up to Sven, but does very little to no damage. Then double hit. He's got a little bit of cleave right now, looking for Envy, and in comes Scandal. Big meld hit. There's your reverse polarity, pulling it back in again. Scandal will live through this one for the moment, but he's still being damaged down. They really want Envy, and S4 even helps him to do so. But then again, we've got ourselves a double kill. In fact, 3 heroes lost for no Tidehunter. They're searching for S4. That Goblak Ice Path a little bit off target, and Loda forced to jump through the Ancient stack. That looks like the rest of Empire were killing off no Tidehunter while I was watching that engagement. The two key heroes, where you think Sven and TA for Empire, being focused down by no Tidehunter, and they lose all their back ends.
Well, they also have a Batrider who is insanely farmed at this point in the game. Funnick is looking at a 4-staff Tranquils, and he has a Blink Dagger up, and it's only 18 minutes into the game. That is completely ridiculous farm considering the situation that he was in. And there is just nothing, like there's no excuse really for him to have that much, especially when you commit 2 heroes bottom to just trying to shut him down, and they didn't even do it. They gave away First Blood. And that's just because of the fact that AdmiralBulldog didn't check Funnick's inventory. He didn't see the dust. He ended up dying to it. He had 5 stacks. He thought that when Funnick retreated around the trees that he wasn't going to come back. He had so many stacks up on him, he just played a little bit too over-aggressive and got caught. And that's why Funnick is just so good at capitalizing on mistakes that other people make. And it does hurt a lot in the laning phase. But, again, they have a Bounty Hunter. They have a Magnus. They have Void. So they have amazing team fight as long as they can continue to coordinate things. Picking off the TA and the Sven, best possible situation. When those 2 heroes are stuck together, that's like 90% of the damage output, barring Funnick, of course. And it's just unfortunate that the skewer that S4 used actually ended up getting Envy killed.
Yeah. Yeah, because it could have been Venomancer escaping out of that one. You would have been he wouldn't have escaped anyway. He would have run to the rest of Empire. But just the fact that TA as well as Ven got in so close, TA blinking in, and it all came down to kill off Envy. Venomancer was the main target. Like, they weren't really attacking the Void. They weren't really showing any kind of desire to kill off the Mag, probably feeling they can't do so anyway, so why attempt it? Pick off the support, move on to something else. But at the same time, they got themselves both in together, both jumping in close, and the second that happens, you've got to know reverse polarity is going to control you. You've got to know that's exactly what Mag likes to do. We're back around the Rosh Pit again, and EternalLenvy back again. And he's de-warding out the Radiant side. He's using his Venomancer ward, so he's not in too close, but Scandal as well as Sven, they are not phased by this at all, and Funnick even going to come in with a double damage. And this should be Roshan going down, but the question is, no Tidehunter, are they coming to stop it? Loda's up on the top lane, and he doesn't have his, in fact, he's letting it go. He doesn't have his Chrono.
I don't know if this is really the right decision. I mean, when you don't have a Chronosphere at this point in the game, it really, really hurts because now you've basically given away a free team fight for Empire. They can overcommit, they give the Aegis to Scandal, no surprise there, and they're going to get their stack stolen as well.
Yeah, as long as Sven doesn't die. At this point, he's going to be a little bit too much damage. Had to turn around, so now he can Mask of Madness through the rest of it. But then again, low on life. Gal from Envy trying to come in the right time. Akke, Laguna Blade. Sven will go down. Ice Path is there, but there's your reverse polarity. Then again, Funnick with the Lansuming. There's no follow-up, but there's the Void Odie back up again. Silent's going to take a fall. Templar Assassin able to respawn. Power of the Aegis, the Immortal. And now looking for more. Jukes down, and that's not Nukes down Envy. And S4 running back in. Oh, man, he's going to deny himself to the Ancients. Yeah, he does. He denies himself to the neutrals. So Loda can follow up, giving himself a double kill. And they get rid of the Aegis, the Immortal. And Funnick the only one to survive out of all of that. And only 1 kill went their way. The other one was a denial.
That was so greedy from Empire. Going for the stack like that, they actually weakened it so much that now Loda is able to come in here with Empower and clean it up. That was a gigantic turnaround from no Tidehunter. Empire should have had pretty much a free team fight. They had Scandal with an Aegis. They walked into a situation which was pretty much the only way that they were going to be able to lose, and they gave no Tidehunter pretty much 4 or 5 kills off of it as well.
Loda trying to be a boss. Unfortunately for him, there's enough items up on the Batrider. He's able to deal with all of this. Yeah, man, you're 100% right. That Empire, they went too far. They went way too far in then.
I mean, their Sven had like 25% HP when the engagement started. All they needed was one Laguna Blade, and he was pretty much dead at that point. It's way too risky to try to do something like that, especially when you have a Mask of Madness and you try to pop it and think that that's going to be okay against an Ancient Stack that big, especially when you're not maxing out Warcry. I mean, he only had, I think, 1 or 2 points into it at the time. It's not enough to tank it. You need somebody else to do it like Scandal. I mean, he tried to back out, but by the time they noticed it was too late.
Hello, Blink in the middle lane, using the macro part to try and bring down Faceless Void, and almost able to use that great Flame Break, pushing Loda back down the river. He's on the run, but with 1 Napalm stack, now going to be 3. No leap back away again. Funnick with a right click, blinks up, ensures the kill, and then the Ice Path ensuring also the retreat now for Funnick. At the same time, looks like a little bit of fun happened in the way of Sven. He's trying to get himself away from here, but not going to help him. S4 right behind, Silent, puts up the Nightmare, holding S4 in position. Now Envy says hello as well. Flame Break pushes them closer to kill off his teammate. It's kind of like our skewer from before.
Yeah, unfortunate. And Empire is still sticking to their game plan, though. They don't really seem to want to play passive, even though they know they're up against the Bounty Hunter, even though the team fight coming out from no Tidehunter, in my opinion, is a little bit stronger than what Empire has. They have to coordinate their spells much, much better than what I feel like no Tidehunter has to do. They have Reverse Polarity, they have a Sphere. Really, the 2 priority targets that they're going to get down are going to be Scandal and, of course, the Sven. So once those heroes are dead, you can kind of just use the momentum of having a Bounty Hunter chase all the way across the map and have a Blink Dagger up on S4. And once you get a couple of kills, it kind of snowballs into much, much more. And that's going to be the problem from now on for Empire.
Yeah. So they can't throw away their lives, but they still want to be aggressive. And we're going to find another little pick-off. Funnick force-starving himself down, pulling Envy with him. And there's going to be the Ice Path, Dual Breath, and Jakiro with the kill. And it's just a quick little bit of a snipe-off. And it opens up a small opening. 30 seconds they've got to maybe push down the middle lane or just get control of their Mac back again. It's like S4's farming up their own jungle. Bulldog's pushing out the bottom lane. This confidence wasn't there before, and now very quick blink by S4, and of course, no, that's up and running, and he's got the 1300 gold. Wondering if we will see that classic kind of, just blink to straight refresher is what we've been seeing from so many mags in this competition.
Yeah, it's just so good. We're talking like level 16 reverse polarity soon, so level 3 means he's going to have 4 seconds of disable on heroes even through BKB. It's unbelievably strong. A little while ago, people were picking heroes that basically would rush BKB like Shadow Fiend, things like that. And those kind of lineups are just amazing against it. You either get high physical damage output heroes like Sven or TA, or you pick heroes that just disable through BKB like the Beastmaster we saw EG run the other day. And actually, no Tide ran Beastmaster themselves, but things are kind of evolving into this. We're going to go for ultimates that absolutely have no counter, like Reverse Polarity and Chronosphere, and just use that to win our team fights. And of course, those heroes do physical damage as well. So even with BKBs, you're still doing a significant portion of the DPS.
Man, I'm loving this move from Funnick, but he's not going to be loving the support coming up for no Tidehunter. Loda is the one they want to try and gank out, almost feeling like they're using Templar Assassin as bait. And then Funnick just to jump in and lasso. And he's going to find S4 and Akke sitting inside that Invis rune, giving good vision. Funnick, he's got all the maneuverability in the world, and now Scandal's going to realize the entire bloody team's up here as AdmiralBulldog jumped Invis. And maybe, yep, they just move themselves back out again, not wanting to be involved. There's just no way they can win this, but there's also no way they can hold this tier 1 tower in the top lane if they're not too careful. Track is out, so they already know what's coming in behind. Empire cannot surprise him with the defense on this top lane. And S4 already looking to jump down. There's a shockwave. Funnick manages to avoid it. Flame Break pushes S4 down further. Goes up and back through the Ice Path. Macropie is down as well, but hits on no one. No Tidehunter just going to evade it. And now BKB up on Bulldog. Looking to go in. There's a Laguna Blade and Reverse Polarity. 3 caught out. Loda, however, being focused down by Scandal. And now the rest of them. Bulldog also being done. Triple kill coming the way for Akke. That's being returned by a double. And now triple kill from Scandal. Now double damage Templar Assassin. He doesn't want to end. Akke cannot be stopped. He will be able to TP back out again. He's the only survivor for no Tidehunter.
Yeah, no Tide did everything they could right there. I don't know why the S4 kind of like went in like that. It basically baited out the Void into walking closer. He ended up getting ulted by Funnick, dragged in. The counter reverse polarity was nice, but everyone was also stacked up from no Tidehunter to allow the TA to get her splash damage in. With a double damage at this point in the game, now Scandal is level 16, just picks up a triple kill. And his game, honestly, wasn't going that well. Now he's got 5.1k. That's a problem.
Yep. He was sitting on 3k before that fight began, just pulling in the cash. The question is, what does he go with it? Do we look at damage? Do we look at him just trying to stay up? Because we know what happens when Faceless Void chronos him up. It's him dead if he's going to go just pure damage. And he actually does. He goes a straight Desolator, still having the 1k up his sleeve. But do you even think we'll see the BKB out from Templar Assassin or go straight into Crystallis?
I think it's too much of a risk to not get a BKB. I feel like that'll probably be his next item. He thinks that at this point they're focusing the Sven a lot, which they definitely are. In every single team fight, they manage to kill Sox pretty much before he does anything. He's 1-6, by the way. He's definitely not having a good game, even though his start was relatively good. So his BKB is still quite far off. And if they focus him down first, then they're going to feel a little bit safer if you know Tidehunter, but Scandal still does so much damage.
Funnick. Right next to Bulldog, because Bulldog being invis, Akke going to be revealed off for the moment. There's the blink up. He wants the last two and quick kill. Going to drag him back down towards the Roshan pit and away from the rest of his players and close towards Silent. The nuke was there from him with the brain tap, and Akke looks for the stun, can't get it, and a nice snipe off here from Funnick, making openings where they really should never exist.
Yeah, he is just so good at picking people apart, getting them out of position, ensuring that they always have something to fall back on, because in the teamfight engagements, even if it's a 3 for 4, you consider 2 or 3 of those track kills, then no Tidehunter is still coming out even, essentially, as long as they don't lose every single one of their carries, which I'm pretty sure the last fight they basically did. And it's unfortunate because the Void's farm really isn't that good either. He's actually going for a straight BKB. He's got a Maelstrom and a Mask of Madness, so he's putting himself at pretty high risk when he goes inside of his own sphere. If he doesn't hit heroes like Bane, you can take so much damage if you're not careful.
TP's coming in towards that middle lane already with the 4-star. Funny trying to get away. Ice Path holding AdmiralBulldog in position. And Loda, he was Fiend Script for a moment, but looks like S4 screws up with it. And that Flame Break actually really hurting out. Loda was forced back out again. Scandal on really low life. There's that pull back in again, but wonderful Ice Path. Goblak 100% on the mark. Bulldog as well as S4 were held. Magic Wand charges, and Sven trying to be in the mix right now. With TA and Bane already dead, and Funnick, I don't think you want to be in that far. 4-staffed in, then tries to run himself back out again. Sven gets a little bit of a stun to hold him off, and then he tries to come in for Bulldog. Avoids the stun. Gale flies out. He doesn't really matter, but Bulldog, 15 HP, returns the track. Goblak still here, and Envy, he's sitting in the trees, moving around. Finally is brought down. Sven with the right click, and the chase is still on. Loda. Chrono might be on cooldown, but he was thinking for a moment, but decides to think no longer.
Yeah, it's too risky. They could definitely turn around and just right-click him to death, I'm pretty sure, at that point. And right now, I mean, it's a super even game, but since the Bounty Hunter is not dying, especially during that team fight, I mean, you're giving away kills like that. You lost your TA, even though you didn't even kill the Void. You managed to kill S4, which I guess is an okay priority target. I mean, AdmiralBulldog got away with essentially no health, so that's just unfortunate for Empire. Should have been probably a 3 for 3 trade right there. And no, Tidehunter is really not losing out in these team fights. Their coordination is actually quite good. They managed to focus down Scandal, and because the Sven wasn't there, obviously, it's a pretty clear choice of who you want to go for.
Loda's in a lot of trouble here in the mid lane. Nightmare's already there. They're waiting for that extra TP to come in, and a Scandal. Void to jump away. Chrono's still on cooldown. Scandal, that's a lot of damage. No backtrack luck there. And that's Void. Surprise! He's out in this region here when the nearest support is in his jungle. Standing by himself. I know you're a powerful Void, and he hasn't finished up his BKB just yet, but that's a long way out for Loda to be.
Yeah, he didn't have any towers either, so no tier 1s on Tidehunter's side. That means the farther up he is, the longer it's going to take for Sports to get there in the first place, so I totally agree. It's just really, really too far forward, and that's one of the inherent risks that you run when you go builds like this, is that you don't really have any tankiness, and of course he is going for the BKB. He's got his Mithril Hammer in the stash, but it's still going to be a while before he really feels safe and going in. It's going to be one of those situations we saw the other day where Fnatic ran a CK and an AM together. You really want to try to get the Sven and Scandal both on top of each other inside of a sphere and try to focus them both down, because even though Refract is quite good against the Void himself, you have Envy who has significant amounts of damage over time spells, and you should be able to burn him down within that time.
But if you've also seen too the fact that Templar Assassin is actually building not of the EKB, but she is going to go the Crystallis. So we're seeing pure damage out from Scandal. All he wants to do is kill. And we saw how effective it was on that Void before. As long as there's no backtrack, he should be effective again. I was seeing Batrider build up towards the Shiva's Guard. Also no Tidehunter, they're grouping up. Middle lane, got their own little dust searching out. AdmiralBulldog with his bash completed. Looking just to catch out anybody they can, and maybe also quick jump in, snipe out Roshan as fast as he possibly can. We've got already Vladimir's offering AdmiralBulldog. If he wants to go in and take it, he can. Smoke pops off from S4. And this can be a run around. They're trying to fake him to say we're going to go for Roshan. Goblak, you know he's going to check. In fact, everyone's coming in with Sentry Wards. Funnick's already here, and Ice Path being thrown, but they're coming around the rear, and Scandal, he's the one that's in the wrong position. The pings are coming out saying, Scandal, yo, man, get yourself back. There's a Radiant Ward that's going to be revealing off one. There's one fake one. Silent still inside his own smoke and using that movement speed. Who's in the wrong position? It's already bounty on him. There's S4 being lassoed in the Ice Path. Going to mean no time. They can't getting close enough. However, the reverse polarity, both Funnick, but there's maybe with enough charges. BKB is up, and Void, Chrono Vent just on on the edge of it. He's trying to bring down Goblak. Silence stopped him for a moment with the Fiend's Grip. He's still able to bring down one. Batrider will buy back into the game, and that's Funnick returning in, trying to nuke down Loda. Not going to be enough. What's happening on the side? Scandal as well as Sven, both being sent up. They can't follow there, and now Loda, Nightmare. He is so far away from the rest of his team, and the second time in the same amount of minutes, Loda is going to be brought down.
I'm not really sure what that sphere from Loda right there definitely could have been better. He really only has 2 Predator targets. When they use their lasso on S4 like that, they pull him out of position. Of course, he has no choice. He has to use his ultimate or he's going to die anyway, and then nothing comes of it, which is fine. But when you go into a fight like that, you want to try to make sure you could hit both Loda and the Sven. They were close enough to each other that it could have happened, but he went for a support of all heroes. He got Fiend Script immediately, even though it did end up getting interrupted. He just didn't get anything done inside of his sphere. He was late to the fight. I mean, the positioning out of Tidehunter probably wasn't the best. Scandal actually managed to sidestep the reverse polarity because he knew the S4 was going to be throwing it out, and he didn't get touched. Like, he built full DPS, and he was left alone the entire fight, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Whenever you have those big damage dealers, you got to get them down fast. But then again, that's also the reason why everyone loves Templar Assassin. How do you bring down someone fast? He's got so many so many damage blocking shields. You got to get through that to start with. Then you got the meld, so you got the evasion out through that. And if the track doesn't instantly go, your meld can be used as evasion-wise. Funnick moving up towards that top lane, gave a little bit of an insight for S4 to run himself away. TP himself away, and Funnick would just be able to farm this top lane instead. But Roshan brought down through the middle of all of this. And Aegis the Immortal on now Templar Assassin, so how do you even kill him again?
Now, the thing that I'm kind of wondering is if Scandal didn't do this build just because he knew that going at BKB against no Tidehunter probably wouldn't do that much if you think about it. They have reverse polarity, they have sphere, they have track. All those things go through BKB regardless, and it's not like TA's extra health that you're going to get from a BKB is why you buy it. It's for the Magic community. So with that being said, if he goes for the full glass cannon build and he gets left alone during a fight, then he's going to absolutely flatten everyone, which is exactly what we saw when they just had that engagement inside of Empire's Woods. So I'm thinking that this is all planned all along. They're not really just scared of anything at this point. They just want Scandal to do the most amount of damage possible. Let the Sven get the BKB because that way he can lead the charge into team fights. Yeah.
See, just that's the beauty about the build of TA. He doesn't care about the BKBs. And the biggest things that right now are there for Loda, and wow, he really thought someone was down there. He was searching out for Sven, who had already disappeared. And Sven's also going damage. Flying right afterwards, Jakiro just delivered his own Crystallis. But the beauty about it is they just don't care about the BKBs. Pure damage, not pure, obviously not pure, but it's amazing damage just flying the way of no Tidehunter when they want to engage in. If they don't catch him in the chrono, but again, how do you damage when they're in the chrono? You can't make the most of it. There's these triple melee with chrono.
Yeah, it's not necessarily the best combination together. I think it's more of they want to try to hit like 3 or 4 maybe with the sphere if they get lucky, and then have the Magnus to follow up with the reverse polarity. Or at the very least, you can try to make it so the Magnus can reverse polarity behind your sphere, make sure the follow-up from Empire isn't there, and try to stop their aggression that way. I mean, there's a lot of options with the 2 heroes, but I do agree that it might not have been the best combination to have so many melee with an ability that basically makes it so you can't melee.
Yep. So now tier 2 tower on the bottom lane, trying to be forced on down. Fortification going to slow them down. Already the entry in from Empire. If there's a chance they can go for racks, they will most happily take it. Already that liquid fire slowing down the tower, and they bring the tower down to half of its life. They're expecting a lot more support than what no Tidehunter would have given. They've moved back from the tower, and that's the reason why we see Empire do the same. This tier 2 tower remains up and pretty healthy. But no Tidehunter, they didn't spam everybody back. There was only just that one mag looking to defend.
Well, at this point, Empire is going to feel a little bit more hesitant about pushing into the base. This is one of the strengths of Void, is that his ultimate is such a wide radius that you can almost cover the entire ramp when you're walking up. So Empire has to position themselves immaculately to make sure that they don't just get caught out and get pushed outside of the base. Again, no Tidehunter team fight. It's very, very strong. It's not like they can't take a 5-on-5 engagement. It's more so the fact that Empire has just had superior positioning, has been outplaying them a little bit, and honestly, Scandal has just been left alone too much in these team fights. He's gotten picked off a lot, but in the engagements where you're committing your entire team to their entire team, you want to make sure that you lock down the people who are going to be doing the highest amount of damage, and Scandal has just been left alone.
Well, they got to lock him down at some point, because at this point everything's getting completely out of control. We're sitting about 8,000-9,000 gold going the way of Empire, and experienced about 8,000 as well. So no Tidehunter going to group up, and we're looking at smoke gang time. Yeah, there's essentially what to check for it, and there goes the smoke. So they're going to look for some kind of opening, moving themselves into their own jungle. They would have found Silent as well as Socks if they were a little bit earlier on, but they're not. The pings are still coming out saying, hey guys, check around this corner. Is there a ward up there? Throw up a Venomancer Plague Ward, and that reveals the fact that the smoke is there. They're getting de-watered by something which they never even saw coming. So now maybe just 5-man Dota is the way to go for Empire. Everyone just to group up. Well, maybe not. Funnick, he doesn't like 5-man Dota. He's the one-man pick-off and then jump back into the 5-man Dota. Looking for an opening. There's the blink. Ooh, so close to the lasso unloader. So close to the lasso unloader, and Goblak is giving that cover fire of the ice path. Or maybe they found somebody else. 3 in that him power. Maybe enough, and Goblak is going to be 2 heroes very, very fast and nuke down. Even though Silence started for the Fiend Script, managed to avoid one, but then Laguna Blade, Nightmare on Bulldog, try and play it out, and no, follow-up stun. Easy, easy kills coming the way of no Tidehunter.
More over-aggression coming out of Empire, unfortunately, even though if Funnick had gotten that lasso off, he had used everything to get into range anyway, so it would have been a lot harder for him to get back. He probably would have ended up getting disabled by somebody regardless, and that's just the style of Empire is no matter what, they always love to play aggressive, but now the problem is Bounty Hunter has an Abyssal Blade, so we're talking about Scandal being locked down or the Batrider being locked down to stop them from getting on Loda at this point, because even though he went for a BKB, his damage output isn't that great. He has things like Empower to back it up, so he doesn't necessarily need to go for the hard carry items like we normally see and rush them. He can go for a more defensive build the Mask of Madness, and still do a significant amount of damage.
Oh, Bulldog just found Funnick, and that's that lockdown. Jump in by S4, 4 staffs away. He can't go any further, and the Chrono even being dropped down by Loda. Bulldog is the one to claim the kill. And Loda, it was slightly overcommittal on that one, but it's still a lot of damage. And man, when you combine that overpower with the damage AdmiralBulldog already does, we just saw the creep wave in the middle lane. It's almost like watching a Sven play.
And Empower just scales so well into the late game, especially with hard carries like Void and the attack speed that you get. And not to mention, I mean, Time Lock does double damage inside of the sphere as well. You have that extra damage coming out from Maelstrom, and since no one but the Sven on the other team has a BKB, it's a pretty good method of just nuking somebody down as fast as you possibly can. As long as the spheres are there, as long as the reverse polarities are there, then it's still no Tidehunter's game to lose, in my opinion. I think that Empire, although they are playing very well, they're putting themselves at a disadvantage by basically getting pushed out of their side of the map against a team who has significantly better team fight.
Yeah. They need to keep on finding those pickoffs and then take the racks. That's why I'm surprised Empire didn't commit a lot more when they had that opportunity in the top lane. S4 was the one to TP back, but Empire just assumed when they left that, well, no, Hunter's team fight's about to come towards the top lane. We better move ourselves back and out of here, or else we're in a lot of trouble, when it never came. Silent, struggling with uphill. Still struggling with uphill. Manages to hit. But the D-Wall is starting off, so they're trying to remove off that vision for the Roche Pit. We are looking at now 4 minutes. In fact, even less. We're looking at 3 minutes now before Roshan's going to respawn. And for me, that's going to be the next time. Everything in the next 3 minutes is going to lead up to that Roche fight. Whoever can get this Aegis to the Immortal, that's going to give you the opportunity to push inside the base. Maybe not all the way for no Tidehunter, because those tier 2 towers are still remaining for Empire. And if Empire claim it, they're going to have all the confidence in the world. Throw it up, be it on Scandal, be it on the Batrider, be it on the Sven. Doesn't really matter either way, as long as one of these guys is staying alive a little bit longer. They overpush the tower and just bring down the racks, and then they have the lane advantage.
And that's what they're going to need to do, especially if you're Empire. Getting that lane advantage is so important to make sure that you just have map control. And that's the thing that they're trying to get back right now. But if you look at their positioning, they're all on their side of the map. They're a little bit gun-shy about getting over-aggressive. That's the second time this game they've done that. They commit basically to a fight where everyone's just a little bit out of position. They end up losing a few, and against Bounty Hunter, you can see the experience in the gold swing from the last team fight. It's actually quite large. The experience is almost back to even, almost in favor of no Tidehunter at this point. And I totally agree, Roshan's going to be the next focal point for both of these teams, and Aegis could completely flip the game around in either team's favor. But again, I do kind of favor no Tidehunter in those enclosed spaces, because what do you have for Empire that really works inside of a Roshan pit besides Sven Cleave? I mean, Jakiro is okay, but it's not going to be the same thing as a Sphere. It's not going to be the same impact as having Empower and a Magnus who can just reverse polarity 3 or 4 people and just have your Void wail on them. It's a very, very scary thing to deal with.
Yeah, the only thing Empire can see they can really do is lockdowns, and that comes down to Silent and Goblak, watching the two of them farm at the jungle right now. But Goblak to get a great ice path, then the dual breath, keep that slow running. So it's hard for those melees to get themselves in range and then do the damage to heroes like Batrider, Sven, or TA, so they can be kited around, and then you got the Macropire. A lot of damage. If no Tidehunter ever forced a fight on top of that one, add on the Firefly on top of that, you got a lot of area of affected damage, which has already got to be prepped up. So if no Tidehunter try and fight in that one, then they have the advantage. But it's only if that's the scenario.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty hard scenario to get when you know you got the repositioning ability already with the time walk from Faceless Void. All he needs is a very, very quick jump in. His downside is always looking for that Bane. And it's actually something which I want to give props right now to the rest of no Tidehunter. Void jumps in, but that Bane is always being looked at. He got like 1 second of his Fiend's grip off during that engagement inside the Radiant jungle, but straight after it, the cancel was there. They got rid of it as fast as possible, and that lets Loda do what he needs to do during the engagements.
It's going to be really important as well. The nice thing too about no Tidehunter is that even if somebody gets pulled out of position, like say they go for Loda, they go for the Void, the high damage output, the person who can actually lock the most of the team down, they have S4 for counter initiation. That's so good. By the way, he does have a Refresher Orb finished, so he's level 20, he's got the Refresher Orb and the Blink, double reverse polarity probably that we're going to be seeing out here in the next Roshan fight. And when you play against that, there's a reason why Magnus has such a ridiculously high win rate in this tournament. It's because that ultimate is so good, and it's not even really that hard to land. The cast animation's quite fast. You have to get caught out extremely quick if you want to stop it.
Oh, Roshan time, man. Roshan time. Double damage up on Sven. And Empire would love No Time to just walk down this hill right now and try and come in. And Funnick, the first one to go inside the pit, having a look around. Think all he wants is a pick off. All he wants to pick off. The pings are coming out from Venomancer saying, well, Bulldog, get your ass back right now. Funnick is hunting. You know he will. And he'll move himself back out of here. Roshan already being aggroed a little bit. And then the blink down. Funnick actually managed to find someone. He found Loda. Meld hit. S4. He misses. He misses on the impale. The skewer couldn't get it right. Now the ice path holding Bulldog not in place because he's got that BKB. The Fiend's Grip did hold Loda during the middle of his BKB, and big crit from Scandal just destroys Loda. He will buy back in Envy. Kept alive right now, but not for long. Double kill now for Scandal. Akke, 9-man up, and then Flame Breaked up to the high ground. Forced up back down again. Bulldog looking for Silent. He will be brought down for the double kill for S4. Letting off that last little hit, and again another ice path from Goblak, ensuring there's no follow through, or maybe there is. He needs a little bit longer. 3 seconds for the blink dagger. 10 more seconds. He's got himself the last two. Back off cooldown. Goblak, ice path, Bulldog, Loda jumping in, tries on Goblak. Goblak, he should go down right now, and in fact he will do so. A little bit out of position, and the support was just not there for Empire.
I mean, the engagement right there from no Tidehunter wasn't even that great. He speared one person. They managed to kill the Sven, but they lost the Void for it. The Void had to buy back during the team fight. He got one shot with his Mask of Madness on for about 60% HP. So they're still going to be able to get the Roshan out of it.
Again. They haven't finished up Roshan just yet. There's the TA trap, jump in, looking for Bulldog, lasso on him, and pulling him back out again. Maybe with the Shiva's guard slowing down, but S4, reverse polarity, holding Funnick in position. Scandal needs to right click, he needs to do something. He's burning and he needs to get away, and he can't do so. Empire, the entire team is now on the sidelines. Go back in and collect your cheese. Loda didn't even help them then. He was too busy farming up Roshan.
They had the second reverse polarity ready for that. Now there's a Halberd finish in this Bounty Hunter as well, so Scandal, without having a BKB, is going to go into team fights and be like, wait, why can't I do anything anymore? And that's a problem. That's a big problem because they're putting so much heavy focus on killing that Sven that they can do that now and still have a method to stop Scandal from getting in and just completely dominating Loda like we saw it last fight. He just dies so incredibly fast with the Mask of Madness on. There are just too many things right now for no Tidehunter that disable Empire, and since the second reverse polarity was up, when Funnick went back in, there was nothing they could do about it.
Yep. Just hold them, control them, and kill them. It's the way No Tidehunter are playing, and it's the Swedish team doing it well on the home turf. And they're going to take out this Tier 2 tower with Empire, who cannot oppose it. If they come out, they'll die, and the tower is dead anyway, straight away. Quick kills. And Empire, such a high so on the back foot. Still, funnily enough, ahead on the goal, but experience only dropped down by 2,000. It's not as much as you would really think. But then again, we already know it's not always how much gold you have. It's not always just how much experience you have. It's what you can do with that gold and experience. And right now, Bulldog, he's a full controlling team.
Yeah, he's been playing a phenomenal game, honestly. He even used his Abyssal Blade on Scandal because he knew that Funnick was going to die during the reverse polarity. Just a small plays to ensure that you get a little bit more out of your team fight coordination is what makes teams win games. Even though there wasn't a track on the second hero, it was still on cooldown, it doesn't matter because they ended up killing Scandal, and buying back at that point for him wasn't even going to be worth it because there's nothing they could do. He would have been too far away to stop the Roshan. So just the individual plays like that against a team like Empire are very, very important. Sometimes you can say, you know what, it's not as important if you're individually good as your teamwork and your draft and stuff, which I do agree with. It's just stuff like that in situations like this when you're already ahead and it's such an important turning point of the game. Like, you want that Roshan incredibly bad if you're a Tidehunter, and they get it because of things like that.
It's like everyone's going to be grouping up for no Tidehunter. They want to try and finish this, and that should be the Butterfly. Butterfly completed up on Loda. Yes, it is, and Smoke sitting on top of the Courier. So they'll come out and they'll try and make the most of this, and this is going to be, if they can, a full team fight, then push through probably bottom lane to get that Rax, because it doesn't exist, but they're going to go through the top. They're going to go into their own jungle, probably expecting Empire to be hunting there, but Empire, they're actually hunting their own jungle. Searching around, checking the ancient stacks, there's no one really here. And this is going to be a waste of smoke at the end of the day for no Tidehunter, and also wasted time. They'll see Sven on that bottom lane, then probably realize, wait, where's everybody else? Where's that one hero? Can't find him. Let's just push the tier 2. It's the only thing left to do now.
And if you're no Tidehunter, you're feeling pretty confident about pushing those tier 2s as well. You got Cheese on Bulldog, you got an Aegis up on Loda. This team fight is going to be incredibly hard to win, even if the team is coordinated and skilled as Empire is.
Yeah. They won't take the fight in the tier 2. We saw them abandon that tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. Or maybe not. A lot of fortification. No, it is there. And fortification will pop. Loda. He's got to think about it. There goes the Ice Path, nailing Loda for the moment. And then the support, Dual Breath as well, trying to pull the creep wave down, which it does successfully do so. But Loda doesn't care. He just keeps bashing with that Empower. The tower is just gone. Then jumping in, finds Silent. Great Ghost Scepter. After that jump has already happened, the Enfeeble and Lasso pulls him out. They can't get past the Chrono. In fact, it's a horrible, horrible position for Loda. His team can't get in close up with the BKB trying to get back out again. He comes out. It's not enough life. Maybe 40, 36. He's limping himself away in silence. Like, I'll take this one, but no, I can't. I'm bashed and killed. Nowhere to go! Scandal tries to go on one, goes Meld, AdmiralBulldog jumping in, Fizz Flame Break pushes him back in again. They got the Sentry Warden seeing him and Scandal. Got a right click, but the damage, where is it? Finally now going on Bulldog. There it is, right click, crit, crit, crit. Brings him down, and where the hell is Loda? He is back on bottom lane after being very satisfied with his kill.
He backed out there. I'm not sure if it was the right decision to run away, especially if you have an Aegis like that. They kind of just left Bulldog to the Wolves. I'm not sure if he would have been able to get away regardless. Sphere was on cooldown. And that's the second time, like, they're just fearing nothing but the Sven. They don't care about anyone else. Even though Scandal is doing so much damage, they force the buyback, and it looks like they're going to try to go down mid.
It's got to be a buyback from Mag. Mag has to buy it back. He can, so can Bounty Hunter. Scandal as well as Sven. They can take out this mid. Chrono is on cooldown, and they will take down this tier 3 tower very, very quickly. The buybacks have to come right now. Tier 3 tower being done. Fortification. 4 seconds on Lina is not enough. You got 41 seconds. Is this just a chicken play? Are you going mid? Are you really going mid? I haven't seen buybacks. Scandal, they're going to let the tier 3 tower drop. There's no extra buybacks. They're letting it go, and now focusing on the racks. Scandal still. There's that buyback from Mag. So they get a tier 3 tower, however, before Mag is forced to buy it back.
They had to buy back for that. I mean, there's an MKB finish now on Scandal, so he's able to actually attack and never miss even from a low ground if he can even get that far away from a tower. But either way, MKB now finish means that Void's going to be a little bit squishier. You don't have to worry about the butterfly vision anymore. He's just going to be able to land more attacks. And, I mean, the positioning from Empire is so unbelievably good. And any other team right there probably would have ended up losing a Rax if it wasn't Empire, because the way they initiated the team fight, they pulled the Void so far out, he didn't get any damage done during his Sphere. There was follow-up, of course, onto Socks anyway, and he ended up having to buy back. Yeah. But it could have been a heck of a lot worse than it was, and that's really the point.
I think Empire just got so lucky with the Chrono. It blocked No Thunder from giving that support. It was the best engagement Empire could have asked for. That was the best way to look at it. But they won't get so lucky next time, or they might not. They might not get so lucky. I love this from Goblak. His build on Jakiro, just to always have this veil of discord. An item which was just ignored for so damn long, but it's so damn powerful with Jakiro. If he gets the lockdown, and you combine that with Funnick as well, and then Sven just runs in, just melees with the Daedalus, and you got Templar Assassin jumping in on top of all of that, it's huge, huge damage that can just destroy anyone on no Tidehunter. Be it Mag, who's already got 2.3k worth of life, or be it the Faceless Void, backtracking, only like there's no extra life actually for Loda. He's going everything damage. Trying to build the Daedalus, already having the Maelstrom, hasn't finished up into Mjolnir, but the Butterfly, he's got evasion, but that doesn't help you with Scandal's build. It goes straight through that.
Yeah, it goes through the Butterfly, of course, but at this point, he really does need to do more damage. He wants to be able to get into his sphere, get 1 or 2 kills basically for free with the BKB popped, assuming that the Bane, of course, can't do anything to stop him, like popping his Fiend's Grip. And they've been pretty good about interrupting it. Bulldog's actually been in a relatively good position most fights, or they either that or they force him to Ghost Scepter, and then, of course, you're not going to be able to ultimate. And this is kind of a situation for Empire where they can't afford to split up anymore. But at the same time, if they don't split up, they're not efficiently farming, and against no Tidehunter's composition, 5-on-5 engagements is what you're looking for. I mean, that's really what you want to do. So you can tell the Empire for the first time, I think, in this entire tournament is starting to think to themselves, we can't actually move out from our side of the map.
Maybe they can't. They can't be thinking that. They can't be thinking that. They've got amazing initiation. They've got awesome team fight. They've always got the Chrono to get out there, and they've got great damage coming out with the double damage on Loda, so he feels all the confidence in the world right now. But when he loses that, probably not as great. But yeah, maybe that fear just starts to creep in. Maybe we got so far ahead, it's not the best way to go over. Do we go over the river? Do we not? Make your decision. Funnick wants to go. He's always on the hunt. He's, again, checking that Ancient stack. moving around the Rosh pit. Firefly up, checking out the wards. Just realized too, he's de-warding everything. He wants no time to be completely no vision whatsoever. Gem on him. We saw the Shiva's Guard going up before during the engagements, and the Mealies couldn't get close. They couldn't attack. It became kiting again. It was just full kite around the map. And Stalin, I love this from him too. Buys up all his money, puts it into Blade Mail. What are they going to do? Bash me. What I'm going to do? Reflect it. Try and kill me. Go Scepter and Blade Mail. Stalin can stand pretty confidently and misclick. Waste a TP, but
I don't think he's going to be fussing too much over 135 gold at this point. I think he's more concerned about winning the next couple of team fights. But now Akke actually picked up a Scythe as well, so they have even more disable, and Scandal still full damage build, no BKB. That means we're probably going to be seeing Hex on him almost every single time, and that's something you don't have to commit a lot to. You can just throw out the Hex and be like, you know what, inside of the sphere, we don't have to worry about Loda being on the edge, perchance, or something like that, getting Bane ulted and just getting focused down. It probably won't happen ever now.
They're trying to use Loda as bait. He is so much bait on this bottom lane, just the same way the Bane Elemental is being used right now. Goblak's holding back, and here's that movement. Funnick, who's he want to find? He finds S4. Last two on him. Foresights him down. There's the Chronosphere. Starting up on the spam, but the damage isn't there. Silent gets the Fiend's grip off. Funnick brought down, but there's your massive hit from S4! Double kill everywhere. Is it full team wipe? Scandal forced to buy back Loda. Only just able to finish that job with Akke. No Tidehunter taking so much damage at the end of that, but the reverse polarity locked them in.
That's exactly what I was talking about, Toby. That counter initiation from S4, even though they opened on him, the sphere went down, they were going full on Loda to prevent Sox from dying, and the Skewer 3-man reverse polarity is completely obliterated. There's nothing to do after that. The irony is, even though Sven only got a couple of auto attacks off, he still pretty much killed 2 people in about 2 swings, even hitting through Loda.
Yep. So what basically means right now that Empire are calling a GG call, because it could have been straight down that lane after that happened. If there wasn't as many casualties on no Tidehunter, we could be looking at the end of the game. And Scandal, he was looking for a little bit of a snipe off. Might have been thinking about Akke, but probably also saw there's dust up on top of Akke. And they're coming in for Roshan. He doesn't respawn for a couple of moments. Scandal still having a bit of a look around. And if he just finds Akke by himself, it would be the easiest kill for Scandal's life. And Mjolnir, it is finally finished up on Loda. And sells enough money for his buyback. And now 3k gold also up on the bounty hunter. He's building his Daedalus. This is going to be a very, very fast Roshan. This is the 4th one we're now seeing?
Yeah, this is number 4, if I'm not mistaken. I actually think you're right. It's Empire is in such a hard spot now, because if one more fight happens like that on the back of an Aegis and a second cheese, they're losing Arax. Like, there's no way they won't. They even bought back on Scandal, which means the next time he dies, he's not going to have buyback. The Sven is going to have buyback, but it's not really going to matter that much, because we've seen how easy it is to lock him down at this point. Bulldog has an Abyssal Blade, and he has a Halberd, so if the BKB's not there, then he gets Halberded. If the BKB's there, then he gets bashed. It's going to be incredibly hard for him to get into a team fight and do anything on his own without support.
Well, hello middle lane. Loda again caught out. He's going on Silent. Silent has the Ghost Scepter. There's your wall, but it's not enough for the Laguna Blade to kill him off. He's going to pop the Chrono. Then there's a lot of hatred coming towards Silent, and he gets him too. There's the ulti coming out from Goblak, trying to help out to get this kill. Loda on 700 life points. They want this Aegis gone, but in comes Bulldog, and Skewer reverse in Polarity 3, but the Ice Path, perfect. In comes Sven. Look for the cleave. It's not enough. It's a triple kill for Loda. It is too much. It is going to be GG in a moment if they can push down this middle lane, but how fast can they push? It's GG now! The Swedes will take the first game up against Empire.
Unbelievable game. Brilliant performance out of no Tidehunter. Their laning phase honestly didn't even go that well for them. We're going to see Sox here with the last stand, but it's not going to be enough. And no Tidehunter takes game 1 over Empire. I don't think that anyone was really going to see this kind of a turnaround coming, especially after how the laning phase went for them.
No, it just didn't look like it was possible. Void didn't look like it was doing enough damage, but again, the power of Mag is seen. The power of that reverse polarity. Empire, they had the damage, they had the position, they had the farm, they had the items they needed to do everything they needed to do. The only thing that kept on going wrong for them was when they jumped in, as you were saying, on that engagement on the bottom lane, the counter initiation coming out from S4. It obliterated Empire.
And that's why Magnus is banned so often in situations like this. I think there's only, what, 1 game this entire tournament that a Mag is actually lost?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much why people are banning it.
We're going to go to a moment, the man who actually managed to be part of that team that lost it.
Oh, that's just mean.
It is. But we can ask his expert opinion on Mag when we get there. But that is going to be the first win for no Tidehunter. There's a best of 3 semi-final. The winner of this will get to go into the grand final to face up against the winner of EG versus Fnatic, which is the second semi-final coming up after this one. but it is Empire versus no Tidehunter. Empire 1 game down, and maybe the CIS teams get knocked out before the grand final. Na'Vi, because we saw them being removed out yesterday, Draskell, and today Empire sitting the edge. But let's have a chat right now with Gods as well as Black. We know you two guys were watching from the sidelines. What were you thinking, boys?